Make some noise for the Repeat Beat Poet. How are you doing? We all right? Yeah. Good weekend? Yeah. People feeling good?
Yeah.
I'm glad. So among many other things that I am, tired is one of them, but like an ardent anti-imperialist is the other one. So, we'll get into it, but for want of a better phrase, I'll explain my reasoning as the set goes on. It's a fun time to be gigging as an anti-imperialist, believe me, it is. But before I get into any of that, I'd like to say thank you for having me. Legit, you could have been anywhere in the world. You've chosen to spend this time with me. That means a lot. I appreciate your attention. I really do. And I've been reading and writing poetry for about 6.5, 7 years now. And what I like to think about poetry and what I like to think about art, and not to be too highfalutin about such things, is that they're empathy machines. And like when we can come together to share attention, it creates this feedback loop of attention and energy where we can come together, experience the same thing, and also have our own internal experiences. It's something where the internal, the external is blended, and it's where a lot of the best life happens, I think, when we can come together and share. So I appreciate it. Yeah, go on, we're having a big applause for that. For the poetry. I'm mixing my soapbox up here. With all that being said, I think I'm just going to read this first poem and then we'll get moving across the night. I'll probably end up ranting. I make no apologies. This piece is called For the Poets, and it used to be the piece that I ended sets with. Now it's the piece that I start sets with. This is for anybody and everybody who's ever written a poem for any reason. Doesn't matter if it was like friends' birthdays or weddings or funerals, or if you had, like on the last bus home, on the last train home, when you're just putting your head to your pillow and you just need to get that thought out. When you're at work and you should be working, that's normally when a poem happens. If you had a private Tumblr account, yes. A couple of very, very knowing chuckles there. Thank you for joining me from the forums. This is for all of you. For the fleeting moment capturers who enrapture us. I've written this for the rhyme flingers and the word slingers, for the pens and microphones gripped between fingers, for the barrier breakers who showed anyone and everyone that this could be done. I've written this for those public communicators of your private struggles, and for the lives reborn from rubble, for poets writing their way out of trouble, for every poem written that aids a resurrection or sparks an insurrection, every poet that challenges your conventions. You see, I've written this for every witty epithet that doubles as a reactionary couplet, and for all of those poets just surprised by what the hell it is they've created, and for the ones who make all of this look uncomplicated. For the secret journals kept hidden, for every instrumental or internal beat ridden, every writer reaching for knowledge forgotten or forbidden, on every stage and page graced with a verse that did not want but needed to be written. You see, I've written this for every seasoned sage, every first timer, faced with whatever it means to call yourself a writer. For every fabled poet out there spinning fables. For every identity shunning easy labels, every poem in every language under Babel. For the ones who write for us when we are sick and unable. And for the ones who write just to keep themselves stable. For the poets everywhere and the poetry that got them there. Round of applause, please, for the poets. Right, I actually wrote a set list for this set, and God help me, I'm going to try and stick to it. About 20 minutes in, I'll inevitably divert, but right now, well, I already did the second poem. So let's go back and do the first poem of this set, which is meant to be the opening. And that's because the poem that opens up my book. Hey. Thank you. I do love a panto audience. I appreciate it. Yes, you see, immediately straight in. See, it's a dangerous can of worms to open that. So this is a testament to life and death. This is kind of what it says on the tin. It is a collection of stories, a collection of narratives, a collection of prophecies, histories, memories, and I've collected them over the past kind of 6 years, collated them all into this book. And the book opens with a dedication, and this is the first poem from it, apart from the faithful. It's called Aretha and Grace, and I wrote it during lockdown. It was sound that saved a man like me. Words whispered before new beginnings are wayfaring songs between the felt and unseen, implanted and sinewed and evergreen. And so certain silences unsettle me, like when in empty theatres curtain swings, while serene and still the dusty stalls appear surreal to those enthralled by the spirits them starved of revelry. Yes, it was sound that saved a man like me. Okay, thank you. This next piece is another dedication. The first section of the book is mostly dedications that I've written to either to people or to like concepts or energies, these sorts of things. But this one goes out to everyone working too hard, and that's called Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Because I don't know about you, but living ain't cheap round here. Can't stop, won't stop. Yes, 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 let's go, let's get it, gotta move, gotta stack that paper, gotta make that cheddar, gotta chase that bag, gotta get that bank. Cash rules everything around me, so bow down to the pound. Don't stop, gotta hustle, gotta juggle, gotta tightrope, walk more, work less talk. And believe, you better get yours, because I'm going to get mine. I'll be fine when I dead off this 9 to 9. I'm going 8 days a week at the standard grind, grinding out shifts, grinding coffee for the pricks. Can I get a skinny wear almond decaf double flat white with a cinnamon twist? If you insist. Don't push me, I'm close to the edge. Whatever the weather, whatever the method, it's all up my effort not to. I'm doing 10 toes and the grindstone never left my nose. In the city where you can't stop, can't breathe, no justice, no peace, no sobriety, no release. Sleep no more for London hath murdered sleep. So we kick back, roll spliff, take a load off, get lit, before bliss slips to guilt trip, a quick blip, a rip in time, and back to the grind. I gotta make it, so I can't stop. Because when I'm there, with my sweet, hard-earned freedom filling the air, sniffing the glory of the feast I worked years to ensnare, I'll sit still and I will wait for the others and the rest. You're going to see an absolute masterclass in stagecraft here, right? What I'm going to do is, because there are cameras, and I want to show off my book, but also know my set, I'm going to put this glorious phone device here in the middle of the phone. Meanwhile, I'm checking my set list, you see? That right there is professionalism. This next piece is called Swinging, and it's the closest thing I have to a love poem. Actually, a lot of my poems are love poems, but this is a love story, and it is it's like a culmination. It's a culmination of about 9-10 different conversations I had with people who are very close in my life in terms of relationships. Some of them were romantic, some of them were familial, some of them were platonic, some of them were, teachers and stuff. But I mixed it all up and made this story. This is called Swinging. I remember how we ran through trees and woods when we were kids. We used to dream of forests. I still wish for our 4 wrists interlocked in bliss we could hide from tomorrow wrapped in a late night kiss. And I would feel you next to me. After years of Friday nights in, not Friday nights out, and only now I start to wonder and the doubt settles in. I try to see around you, or over, or under, or through, but it's blatantly obvious what I want to do. Love you and have done to me, love me. Just be with me, just dream with me, just be serene with me, just be bereft of this stress with me. It's been going since we were 3. You helped start the spark in me, helped plant the seed. And we've grown up and it's grown out into a sprawling tree as we leaf through strangers in bookstores who could be so much more. And strangers on dance floors who could be so much more. People I'll never see again but never saw before, thinking over and over, this could have been so much more. And I come back to you lying next to me and I've never been so sure. Pure or impure, fact of the matter is, tonight our bodies might soar and ache. We can live the life in the dead of night where voices quake and we break through to see one another blooming with a love all-consuming. It will be no illusion. Quiet the rage, quell the anger, satisfy the greed, remove the pride, uncover our eyes, but leave lust just. And then suddenly, I'm awake. And before I have time to calm myself down, the words come out my mouth, hey, I want us to be free. You turn to me, hazily. Oh, it is 3 a.m, what are you on about? What I meant to say was, I want us to feel free in love like we were free in childhood. When deep down we naively believed the world might just be all good. Before we let sex, fret and debt define our being and all we cared about was seesawing, monkey bars and swinging. Once I get out of bed, I will draw the day deep, be at peace with the world, ambling arm in arm with my love, living our best lives, strolling around museums and galleries, camping in Glastonbury fields, rambling through the tucked folds of metropoles, booking corner tables at rooftop restaurants and basement bars, sharing picturesque meals and speaking of everything earnestly, kissing like kids skipping school before striding out to the street, floating our way home, waiting up for the dawn chorus, awaking to whipping nightsticks, fists banging at the door, shriveling from revving tongues, reading glazed eyes sunk into cropped faces hidden behind dirty visors and frosted glass. And we're begging in a single scorched voice, screeching holes out of the house puckered into a corner, dying with the light of the morning. I pray in the street nightly ever since, burning memories and dreams into the pavement. I kneel with chalk and torch to talk of joys that burn me alive in their living. So earlier today I was listening to a podcast of a book, of a biography of a man called Benjamin Lay. Benjamin Lay was a radical abolitionist and Quaker in like the 17th century. He was a dwarf. He was a dwarf. He was born in Essex. He went over to America. Spent some time in Barbados, and he was basically just like a radical person. He was going to be like, no, the slave trade shouldn't exist. I'm going to stand against this. And I was brought up and raised by a devout Methodist and a Quaker, and it informs a lot of my work. I love being sacrilegious. So this piece is called Desecrated. Essentially, the second coming. An example. When Christ the Redeemer descends on Deptford High Street, only the rain will fall to wash his feet. The kids will have already grown tired and weary of waiting. When the Prince of Peace has finished his late shift, the bus driver will not see him slumped against the bus shelter with 3 hours before the early start. The Godhead made flesh again on Dalston Lane will break in private gardens. The patrols around Gethsemane felt the same. His holiness's glorious name will sing no song on the banks of the Thames. He will gag on London's waste at Beckton. He will choke at City Airport and cackle at futility through the fumes. And after following the River Lee all the way up to Tottenham, Yahweh will face match day and divided loyalties. The Lord Creator will be run out of the Barking, Brent and Brixton town halls after there was a council assessment that found him to be fit for work but culturally incompatible. God will be judged in a trial held on the tube and sentenced to penance, sweeping the halls of St. Paul's, where tourists kneeling at altars of idols wipe their feet on their gods. I was taught to believe that cleanliness is next to godliness, and I think God has reconsidered what to polish, what to purify, and what to let burn. This next piece is called A Step-by-Step Guide to Saving the British Dream. Does anyone remember the hilarious politician Theresa May? Anybody? Yeah. I genuinely think if you asked Theresa May to list every prime minister after the Second World War, she'd forget herself. Absolutely useless. But anyway, she gave this party conference speech, a Tory party conference speech in 2017-18, and it was the one where there were letters falling down behind her, and like someone handed her a P45. She was wearing she was wearing a bracelet of Frida Kahlo, and I'm just like, Frida Kahlo would not be okay with this. And then she started choking, and I'm like, this is exactly, you've been hexed. Like, anyway, I wrote this poem because she was using this phrase, the British dream, and obviously now we talk about what is this country going to be going into the future. This is, well, I think it's a very funny piece. I think it's quite funny. Let's see if it gets a laugh. A step-by-step guide to saving the British dream. First, remove all chocolate. Leave only one single legally approved all-white dream bar. Separate the blood and sweat of children from those famed satanic mills. Overlook industrialised people trafficking while cheering for the Commonwealth. Fumigate the haunted Houses of Parliament and the dusty halls of Westminster. Flush out muddy complexity like dirt in the workings of your white goods. Brush away inconvenient brownness staining sea to blood-soaked sea. Sanitise histories with doctored textbooks and stolen traditions. Painstakingly apply PVA glue to cracks in the floor while tectonic plates shift. Bury the black spots under thick coats of white powder and white noise. Exfoliate in a panicked frenzy, cauterize festering wounds, wipe clean the white conscience. Never look back, never look in, let a white Jesus forgive you all your sins. And please, God, save the British dream. And thank you. I do appreciate it. Never know how that one's going to go down. I've been in some rooms where that has not been the vibe. Thank you for going with me on that. And so we've reached the point in the set where I lay out essentially my politics and why I am such an ardent anti-imperialist. Not only did the Royal African Company transport more enslaved African people than any other company in the history of the Atlantic slave trade. They also were the company that Edward Colston was employed by as their essentially like number two, the guy who had a statue pulled down in Bristol, dumped in the harbour. Poetic justice. Loved it, right? But within the middle of all this is this kind of weird, uninvestigated assumption that there should be hierarchy and that some people are naturally born higher than others. And I don't believe in hierarchy. I believe in horizontal, general, leveled out communities, balance, harmony, these types of general communist hippy-dippy bullshit things, yeah? And growing up watching this type of jingoistic like fever that comes over the country when things like the Royals are involved, has always frustrated me because I look at where their money has gone and what they've done, and I look at how every country, maybe a third of the countries in the world right now, have an Independence Day from Britain, and I'm just like, how did that happen? So this is one of many reasons why I'm not a fan of empire. This piece goes into a bit more detail and asks us to investigate the term black power. What does black power mean? At late night coursework cramming o'clock, a white friend is firing me questions about Black Panther. And I tell him we got to get to work, I can't concentrate. He suggests I stop burying my head in books. I have a habit of horcruxing my hope. Searching for fractions of identity in history, lives torn apart that delivered us to where we are. I once read Salman Rushdie say, "The problem of British history is that it all happened overseas." Using black bodies as fuel, overseas Britannia ruled. He asked me he asked me what black power means, why Black Friday is a shopping holiday, why black politicians lie too, why black people still pain is still commodified and sold, why black people still kill it on social media and are killed on social media. He reminds me that when he says the N-word, it's different because he says it with the A, not the ER, so it's fine. Psyching myself up to respond, I am not ropes of references around my point. Who are you? A panther. What you got? Soul. What you got? Love. What you got? Pride. And I see pride. I see power. I see a badass mother who don't take no crap for nobody, who fights for rights by any means necessary, who would rather die on his feet than live on his knees, living it loud, young, gifted, and black and proud. Remember, their hands can't hit what their eyes can't see, and they don't see race, so they won't see you coming. Meanwhile, you're dropping a slide will come and salute to your little cousin and know that tomorrow's not promised for anyone. Revolution has come, time to pick up the gun. I once heard the last poet say, the N-words are scared of revolution, and I was not scared. I felt love when I heard Atta and Baldwin and Poitiers say that we are not what they say we are. Nignogs, Negroes, Bames, coloureds, exotic darkies, freshy sambos, use whatever fucking phrase you want. We were always the majority, we are beautifully and powerfully and perpetually black. My response is to see blackness as a revolution, black music as revolutions, black ancestry as revolution, black dancing in revolutions, black cooking at the revolution, black people weaving stories for fun, for history and for revolution. I tell the white boy that loving yourself while being black is an act of rebellion against the system. I pull up a Saved by the Bell Hooks meme to try and explain what the system is. It's something about a white supremacist, capitalist heteropatriarchy. I don't know, I'll look it up. I proclaim that I love my blackness and that he should too, and that we should get back to work. It's almost a new dawn and we best be ready. So, yeah, let's just read it. Let's go. So this is called Resurvival. This is another piece that asks again, what could this world be? How can we change the world for the better? In my opinion, how can we bring everybody together in a way that essentially activates the power that we have as the masses? It's a tiny minority of people who control everything. And one of the things they don't control, which is why it's so valuable, is your attention and your actions at the end of the day. This piece asks us, what should we do? Resurvival. They'll make believe we saved one single quill still sitting in its quiver, and let it stand so long the shills fell from its spine and withered. What was left intact will be corralled, compressed under a half fist, and aimed up high, shot to the sky. Hollow bones are an easier lift. Weightless tails buffed blank and flung out, with the sharpest barbs reburied. What of our remains will survive alive and living? Under fire from mandatory nonsense and absurd diktats, we will coalesce on calabash round cowrie shells caught from the kickback. We twang true in elastic funk bands, drum rolling into waves. I will spread this thin as morning mist. I will sprinkle rice dust laced with bass. What happens when we cannot bear it one fucking day more? When the cretinous creditors and their debts are ditched, banks' statements left ignored, and the calls to arms dodged. We will sanctify those they chose to slay. Enact on mass divestment, refuse to pay. Trust fall down an unknowable warren, yet land on patterned pelts. Which sacrifices will we mourn? As our memorials are cannibalized, marched through factory war zones, I am all wincing wings, restrained under corrosive lights, ripped apart alone. Until the flock signals the hour has come to fly across, and above the haunted shallow wharf, outside the range of crossfire, amass enough momentum, shed the dead weight, leave a real trail. I appreciate it. About 5 minutes, 4 minutes? Alright. In which case, I'm going to throw out the last 2 poems because I know I wouldn't be able to stick to the set list, and I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to spit some bars. I am a hip-hop poet and MC. I also love my music. I have music out on Spotify, a single and a couple of features on an album. If you want to go check that out, please do. I'm a DJ as well, so I do 2 radio shows a month. One of them is on Soho Radio, which is an international listenership all over the place. Threads Radio is my other one. That's where I play a lot of poetry. If you're a poet or if you're an artist making music, send it in to me. My DMs are always open. My email is on my bio and all that other stuff. But this is going to be a bit of an introduction to me through the art of rhyme, through the art of rap. If I go on too long, just stick your hand up and I'll stop this, because at this point, well, we'll see. I need to clear out the pipes, I feel, yeah. Alright, so it's the RBP. You'll know it's me because I got these rhythms, rhymes and poetry. Watch, these I combine, black stars realign, I'm a reassembling sign of the times. I see the target in the forest, I score gold like coal, I move smooth like a ghost pass through your soul. The world is mine, it was written and foretold, that I'll be gripping my spit until I'm grey and old. You see, I'm slicker than your average man, behold, I move quicker through the night than alcohol. I'm day tripping by the seaside, scribbling on the pad, I checked it back like this ain't that bad, I can be what I wanna be. So I say to you, be what you want to be. If not you, then who is it going to be? Speak your truth without an apology. Sink your tooth into what you want to do what you want to do. Be what you want to be. If not you, then who is it going to be? Speak your truth without no apology. Sink your tooth into what you want to do what you want to do. This real knowledge you won't find in no syllabus. I'm flying high through the sky, call me Goku on a Nimbus. Who am I? I'm sacrifice, I'm emulating genius, I educate and innovate to offset the ambivalence. I've got content, rhyme and flow, you'll find there's no equivalent. Other views available, but they're wholly insignificant. If you underestimate me, you'll be blindsided by stimulant. You'll be supercharged, breathing hard, stay vigilant. My time is imminent, bars becoming militant. I trained with the Wu-Tang Clan to escape imprisonment. I learned from all scenes ever since pre-teen, but my roots are in a tribe called Quest and Love Supreme. You see, I'm a rock with Ashiki, I'ma get real comfortable, feeling freaky. Once you free your mind, then your ass will follow, because I live for right now, create for tomorrow. Yes, I'm coming real smooth, you know this. I still get into the groove, you know this. Believe it's mind over matter, you know this. I'm making your bones shatter. That's osteoporosis. Now watch me as I flow this easily. If you don't know now, you know it's RBP. I'm the rhyme-laden beat-slaying poet MC. Riding that Black Star Line, all city, London on a... what day is it today? Saturday. Wicked. London on a Saturday, it looks so pretty, but such a pity living there, tricky. Chasing rent, running around scatty and skittish, overworked and underpaid, damn, that's British. You'll see me hustling and struggling, the work don't finish. Turn me to a grumbling, stone cold cynic. Minute to minute, I manipulate my flow, beginning within it, real change starts at home. I spit in idioms in it, even if you don't believe in it. I've got millions of rhymes, words, similes, and adjectives. I'm pricklier, sicker than the pepper Peter Piper picked. I find a flow, I pick it up, and all the day I have good luck. I pass this on to my friends, my cypher circle never ends. I end up bending syllable and cadence, blending in the pointed with the aimless, simile, symmetry, image-laden poetry. You'll see me living in synergy, sharing energy, easily got the vocabulary of General Levy. I'm incredible. Like Frozone. Any given time zone, I make the beat run from the tip of your tongue. I'm singing dun diggy dun da dun. You don't want none, I won't be outdone. I got the 411, son. I'm outgunning anyone just for fun, and they've only just begun. But for future reference, my preference from you all is deference when I'm on the mic, because I speak in full sentences. My intention is to be an all-time great. Call me the updated fan favorite like BB-8. I clean rappers off my plate, sling it out like a discus. It's an odd job cutting head tops for business. Sheesh, I'm shearing sheep like Sean. I'll make a shearing fan which had never been born. I turn up and turn out of random places. I tear through a stage with my torn out pages. You'd be like, how he ain't done yet? He been rapping for ages. You would be reaching for a rhyme. Tap out, be gracious. Honestly, fuck me, man, good gracious. Where the good vibes and the good vibrations? How can we grow in a mad situation through hip hop and poetry? My 2 first loves and infatuations. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Yeah, I won't keep you for too much longer apart from to say my name is the Repeat Beat Poet. Say it with me now. We're gonna do it part at a time. So repeat. Repeat. No, okay. Repeat after me. I'm gonna say repeat. So, it's a complicated thing. I mean, this is why I picked the name. So repeat. 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 Repeat beat. Repeat beat. Repeat beat. Repeat beat. Repeat beat poet. Repeat beat poet. Repeat beat poet. There you go. So now you know my name. Now you can come buy my book. Books are £10. I will sign them for you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me. I'll be back here very soon. Peace.